Well, welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Outdoors. A new knife unboxing rendition. Also, a little bit of a philosophy on my thought process on reviewing knives. Now, here's my caveat, and let me make this clear. This isn't a shot at anybody. I'm not talking about anybody else. I'm talking about Choir Boys Outdoors and Old Scab. That's it, point blank, period. Sometimes when I make these videos, people think I'm talking about them. A, because they didn't watch the video all the way through, or two, they feel a lot more highly about themselves than they should. This is about me, my thought process, and what I would like to do is use this video to do an unboxing, do an unveiling, introduce you to a new company owned by Jack Billings. Awesome kid, awesome dude, awesome man, and talk to you just for a few minutes. I wanted to do one of our demonstrations. I wanted to do the Emerson Rendezvous today. That was the plan. The original plan was to do the Phobos Cacula today. I got home late, about 7:30ish, raining, you know, blah, 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 blah. Tomorrow's a new day. We're going to start it. Having said that, let me say this. Today, I put out a short with the verdict, right? Except I didn't call it the verdict. I called it the engage. These were sent to me by Charles Bill, and Charles is an awesome dude. And is it a major deal? No, but I hate doing that. I hate misspeaking. I'm human and it happens. But the engage, the verdict. Now, I'm thinking about doing something that I don't normally do. This is the Atlas lock. I'm really curious about that. I'll have to look this one up. I don't think that's the triad lock. I could be wrong. That might just be a regular back lock. I don't know. I'll look it up. I'm thinking about actually running these head to head. They're mid to smaller folders. May do it. I'm very, very interested. Both are made in Taiwan, one of my favorite places. It really, really is. Both are out of that Cold Steel 4116 stainless. So it's kind of a budget, but they've got these things. The one thing that steel can do is get sharp as shit. These are like two little razor blades. Thinking about running these head to head. I want to use this video to talk to you a little bit about my philosophy. And the reason I want to do that is this. Nobody said anything. It's nothing like that. But I was watching a couple of my videos the other day, and I realized I ramble. Well, I knew I ramble, right? But I realized as I'm going through the video, there were certain times I would stop and try to explain why I do something. And instead of an explanation, it come out more of a justification. And I'm like, that's not even what I want to do. So what I want to do with this video is walk you through my thought process. And it'll be a good one to look back on, like as we get new subscribers and see how my thought process is changing over time. Today is the 3-year anniversary of this channel. We're going to celebrate it Sunday. Before we do any celebrations, thank you to each and every last one of you who are subscribed, whether you subscribed yesterday or whether you subscribed 3 years ago. Thank you. It's been an incredible journey. Had a little bit of a down day. Thank you to everybody who reached out yesterday. Feeling better today. And here's the thing. I started this channel for a lot of reasons other than knives. We talk about it a million times. I am blown away constantly by what a loving, kind community this is. Thank you to each and every one of you. Your comments, reaching out, giving space, all of that. Saying, Scab, we understand. If you decide to take a break, we're here. Listen, the last thing I want to do is take a break, okay? This keeps me sane. It keeps me focused. I regret to some extent having a bad day yesterday, but you know what I've found with this channel is this. The more open and honest and more sharing I do with you, there's kind of I find that there's a reason behind it. Like I've done things like this before and been like, shit, I wished I wouldn't have done it. And down the road, somebody will reach out and go, hey, you remember that day? This is what I gained from it. So I'm hoping that sometimes through my bad days, it can help somebody. I mean that. But that's not what this is about. What this is about is saying thank you to all of you and just saying, man, I love you. I do. Spartan Harsey folder in the pocket today. Shout out to Thrasher, Brandon Thrasher, Thrasher's Garage. This was a gift. It is amazing. Let's jump right into this video. Jack Billings started making knives at 13 years old. At 19, he said, you know what? I'm going to make a run at this full time. He went to Blade Show, and I think he met Jared. He might have had a relationship with Jared Neves before Blade Show. I'm not sure. But at Blade Show, they hooked up, and Jared said, hey, you need to get with Scab and get some knives tested. So Jack reached out. Brother, thank you for doing that. I'm super excited. And I did say that right. He's a 19-year-old young man who's been making knives since he was 13. He decided to make a run at this, so my hat's off, seriously, for standing in there and taking a chance. Hey, that's what this is all about. So he said, can I send you a knife? I said, sure can. He goes, why don't you look at my catalog and tell me which one you want to review? And I said, I'll do you one better. Why don't you watch some of my videos and figure out what you do best, what you think will suit my channel? He said, I'll do it. So he sent me this knife. Now, it's a cleaver, right? So there's some little nuanced things we'll talk about in the video, just some different factors. I can tell you up front, it's heavy duty. You can see that. And we're not going to I'm going to read you the specs, but this is not a hard use video. That'll be probably this week. It's dope. I'm going to go ahead and tell you it's dope. The first thing that resonated with me was that handle. Look at that. If he's got his handles down, anything else we can work out. Little hole usually is for hanging up and that kind of thing. Got a pretty good wig splitter on it. Hole there if you want to hang it up. So he's addressed that a couple times. Little sharpening choil there. But look, I want you to see the fit in the hand. That is dope. I am super excited about this thing. It's heavy duty. It is hollow grind. I'm glad I read that up front. So this is Shed Knives, guys. I showed you the box earlier. I'll show you again. Look him up. He's in Delaware. And here's the thing. Here's the thing. You say, Scab, what if the knife don't hold up? Well, one, I believe it will. But two, then we'll give him as much feedback as we can. And we're going to remember that he's 19. He's coming into his own, and he's stepping out and taking a chance. What does that mean? You going to lie for him? Nope. We're going to do the same test that we do. It'll pass or it won't. But what we are going to do is going to give him feedback either way, because I am all about helping somebody, especially when a guy goes, you know what, I'm going to chase my dream. I respect that. So I'm going to do all I can to help him. I'm going to give him as much feedback as I can. I may wind up sending this to Donnie or Joe or some other content creators and try to get the word out there. The other knife I got for you, and I'm super excited. And Jack, if you watch this, man, thank you. Thank you for taking a chance. Shout out to Neves Knives for hooking me up, dude. Listen, here is the Emerson Rendezvous. This is the Rendezvous. Now, I'm going to open this box. I got a package in from Tops. This is going to be the first review out tomorrow. I'm super stoked. This is from Billy over at Apex Alchemy. The caveat with this thing is this. Lacey, Miss Lacey Lake, look at that. Lacey's EDC. I got to look up the young lady's YouTube. I know her on Instagram really well, but look at that. She put a polished edge. Now this is a chisel grind. This will be the first review you see tomorrow. I'm going to open this box, and as I do, we're going to do our intro. Guys, there was a time in this country where 22 vets a day took their own lives. Now, the thing about that is this. We know that that's not the number. There are days it's higher, which is just unbelievable. There are days that it's lower, which thank the Lord for. The number we're shooting for here on this channel is 0. Anything over 0 is simply unacceptable. And all that means is, vets, we love you. You have a place here. Now listen, here on this channel, we back the blue. We support live. Not everybody's going to. I don't force it down your throat. I have my reasons for doing so. But this is the land of the free and the home of the brave. If you don't agree with that, man, more power to you. I'm okay with it. Believe me, I'll sleep well tonight either way. How do you do that, Scabber? Well, I don't break the damn law. Pretty simple. Now, people have said, that don't make sense. I used to break the law every single day of my life. Made it a point to. That's a fact. That's not bullshit, and that's not... every day. And it could be something as little as pumping gas and walking in the store, which, believe it or not, used to drive Kirk crazy because it was against the rules. Or it could be drug dealing, stealing, you know, whatever. I never was big on the thief thing. I guess when you deal drugs and stuff, you're kind of a thief, but I never stole from anybody. But I digress. You know, we broke the law every day, made it a point to. So that's my contribution. And finally, and let's move on from that quickly, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. And listen to me very, very carefully on that. For all the bullshit and all you hear on this channel, there's a lot of addicts on this that watch this channel, but there's not a bigger addict with this community than me. I fight it every day, every day. So far, one foot in front of the other, been sober and clean about 3.5 years. Feel pretty good. Each day is a new day. I say never quit quitting because this reason. In 2020, July 31st, 2020, my best friend was killed. He made some choices and he paid for it. That very day I went to see his dad, and his dad said, because I just started the channel, his dad said, Scab, I heard this the other day. I didn't get a chance to share it with you, but I want to share it with you. And it's never quit quitting. And he just kind of looked at me because he knew I had my struggles. So that's part of this thing. What does that mean? It means if you're an addict, there's times, man, you're going to fall off the wagon. It took me a long time. I fell off a bunch. But you keep quitting. It'll stick one time. It's not easy, man. Y'all know that. This ain't a woe is me channel. You got to fight the fight, but never quit quitting. All right, let's get into it. Got a super dope Tops hat. Dude, thank you to Tops, man. That shit's dope. Looking fresh. There it is. Let's see what they sent. They sent a bunch of these peanuts, which I have to be careful. Okay, I got one life, one knife. Let's see what we got here. This is kind of cool, man. This is a Tops magazine. We'll probably run about 20 minutes and then I'll speed it up. This is, you know what? Listen. Quick Tops magazine book review. Let's just kind of go through here. Here's some different stuff. Now, look at that. Can y'all see that dagger? That's kind of dope, man. All right, I'll be here staring at this all night. I like the way they break this down. They've got 1 to 3 inch blades here. Page after page of 1 to 3 inch blades. And then they go 4 to 6 inch. I love this format. What's the next one? 7 to 9 inch. And then 10 plus, and then kitchen knives. I'm definitely going to deep dive this some. This is cool. Let's see the knife they sent, man, because I'm super fired up and we need to get into this. Listen, one of the things I really wanted to talk to you guys about was kind of my philosophy on reviewing knives. Got some knife oil here. That's dope. One of the things, guys, is this. When I started out, I wasn't sure how I wanted to go. I say that a lot. And then over these past 3 years, I have developed kind of a system. Now, is it perfect? No. Does it fit me? Yes. It's perfect for me. It's perfect for this channel. Is it the perfect way to do it? Well, for this channel it is, but it's ever growing and it's ever changing and it's ever improving, hopefully. This is a big sumbitch. I know what it is, but I didn't expect it to be this big. Now, I'm just going to cover a couple quick topics real quick. One thing is, I open every video the same way. Cutting paper. Why? What's the special about cutting paper? Nothing. Not a thing. There's nothing special about cutting a paper, except it gives us a good look at the blade. Look at the edge, and it helps me. It helps me more probably than it does, it's more helpful to me than it is aesthetically pleasing to you guys watching. What do I mean by that? I can kind of tell by how the paper sounds, how it feels, what kind of edge I have. Now, is that the end all be all? If it doesn't cut paper, well, that's fine. That's fine. If it's a knife sent to me for review, Made in the USA. I try to, what is that? What I try to do is by cutting the papers to show the initial sharpness of the edge, right? That doesn't mean, oh my God, it don't cut paper, it can't cut. That's not what it means. It's simply to show you what we do. And then I take a few seconds, I usually take about a minute or less to show you just an overall quick look at the knife. We look at the sheath, we look at the knife, and my goal there is, I do that for my opening, but my goal there is to give you a good idea of the ergos, to look at the handles, to see the edge, just give you an overall look. I try to show you the balance. I try to show you some size comparisons, but really the main thing that opening is showing you how it fits in my hand. So that throughout the process as we're doing it, you're seeing how it's in my hand. Then typically I go to the stump, we do the Donnie B all day, throw it at the stump test, we do the drop test. We're checking the balance to see how it handles. We're checking the tip, the edge right along the tip. We're checking the balance of how it throws. We're checking to see if the handles loosen up with some hard downward throws on impact. All right, that's part of it. That also helps get a feel for the knife. Now I've cut paper, now I've thrown it a couple times. I'm getting the balance point. From there, typically we go into something like, now I know there are times where I'll put something up front, stab a tire. Everything is in order, from easiest stuff to cut to toughest stuff to cut. So bear that in mind as we're showing. I may not show it in that order, right? But that's what I do. Why do I stab a tire? All right, we're checking, again, we're checking the tip. We're checking the strength of the knife. We're checking the handle for hot spots and slippage. Two big things there. We're checking to see if you have to adjust your hand. Like if it doesn't have a guard, if it doesn't have a choil, how do you hold it, etc. We're checking to see how strong the tip is, right? Because we've seen the other day a tip bend on hard downward throws. So the tire is a very good test. Cutting the tire. I've had people say, well, scab, it's thin. Yes, a lot of times the sidewall is thin, but it's also steel belted. That steel belt goes across that edge. So if I stab clean, if it goes in, no bends, no warps, no nothing, no damage to the tip, no damage to the edge, no slippage, now I've got a better feel for the knife. From there we go to start, we cut our ratchet strap. Now that gives us more and more of an indicator of, okay, this is what we're dealing with. Now I've got an indicator of that sharpness. From there, we try to do some kind of slicing, wood typically. Just a quick, you'll notice in all the videos, I'll take the knife, and this is the Bestia, by the way. I know I'm taking my time with it, but this is the Bestia. So we'll take our time and we'll do some slices. Again, giving me the feel for the knife, checking the sharpness, see how it feels in hand. Is there any hot spots there? If I put my thumb on the back in that fencing grip, is there any hot spots? Even if it's a 90-degree spine, that kind of thing. Then we do our John Peters stab test, right? So we stab the tire tread. It's an inch thick. Does it penetrate all the way through? We do 6 to 8 inch punches. We don't go crazy and go psycho. Why? It's not about my strength. It's about the knife. Can the knife penetrate it? And then it's the same thing as the stabbing the tire. Now, is that redundant? Yes, but it's also to wear that blade down as we go through the process. We've cut a ratchet strap, and then we start cutting all kind of hoses. The other thing we cut religiously is the sandblast hose. It's I think it's 3/16 or 1/4 inch thick, but it's still belted. So again, pressure on the edge. Then we baton. That should speak for itself, but that's also, we put pressure on that edge, right? But it's also to see if there are hot spots when I'm holding that knife and we're batoning, right? Look at that, that's like a damn boomerang. I'm fired up about this. So this knife, we're gonna baton with it. And then we go to chopping. And you see the progression there? As we go. Now once we've gone through the progression, and then typically somewhere in there, we do our zip ties. The zip tie is not to check the sharpness of the knife. I can't stress that enough. The zip tie test is to put pressure because we're twisting it. Is it going to chip the edge, right? After that, then we do like some cutting some plastic, cutting some cardboard. Now I've had people say, well, so-and-so cut a piece of cardboard 500 times. I'll go here and look. So-and-so's just telling us he has. I'm not saying they didn't. I'm not saying they did. I show you the knife doing that. Why? A couple reasons. One, I shoot everything from a phone. As we go and as we grow, we will improve our equipment. That's not priority right now. Most of you watch these things sitting on the can. So if it's not in 5G and cinema quality, you don't give a shit. No pun intended, right? The other side of that is, and I'm not knocking anybody. If you say you did it, you did it. I'm just telling you. I show you the stuff working. That way, when I'm talking to you, I don't have to make stuff up. I'm not saying anybody does. Again, what I'm telling you is, I know exactly how that knife functions. I get fired up about a knife. I get passionate about a knife. You can tell really, truly, honestly how good a knife is about how hyper I am about it. And it's not that I'm that excited about the knife. Another little key part of my psychology doing the review. You can tell how excited I am by how I was able to use the knife. Part of this channel is showing you knives. I'm not here to show you the latest, the greatest, the newest, any of that. We're not the QVC, and I'm going to talk about that in a second. But it's not only showing you a knife, it's improving my skill set. What can I do with that knife? And then hopefully you'll look at that and go, well, Scab's got that. He's okay. He's improved as he's gone. His skill set's improving. I'm a little, and I'm serious here. Some guys will be like, well, I'm right there where Scab's at, so that's kind of a knife for me. Or you know what, I've got a few years of experience on Scab. My skill set's a little more advanced, but I really think I can make that knife hum. Or you'll be like, that knife's not for me. That knife's not going to fit my skill set. That's the philosophy behind me and my knife reviews. I don't do knife reviews because I think anybody else does it wrong. I do them because it fits the strength of the channel. You'll see a lot of these, a lot of choppers. This is the Bestia, B-E-S-T-I-A, from Tops. Thank you to Tops for sending it, John. That is wicked, dude. I can't wait to put this one to the test. Made in Idaho, made in America. It looks seriously like a boomerang. The other side of this, and we're going to wrap it up because I've gone a lot longer than I wanted. Micarta handles. Look at that generous choil there. Look at that. So, fits good here. Fits good here. I also try to stress here, I wanted to tell you this too. When you guys hear me talk, let's run through terms. If we go 25, I'll speed it up. Inner grip. The inner grip for me is going to be from here to here. All right? So if I say, I don't think I got a tape measure and I don't want to take any more time. But if I say from here to here, and I don't know what this is, but if I say from here to here is 4 1/4 inches, any hand in this world will be able to fit it. Now, honestly, that one's going to be more in line. If I'm being honest, that's probably going to be right under 4, right? Now, if I go to here, anybody can hold it. I can tell you this doesn't bother me. I can chop it there. I can get up for some fine work. But this is the inner grip here, not from here down, right? Width of width of blade here, okay? Thickness of blade here. A lot of times, I'll give you the thickness of the handle, so you can then determine. So that's just a little bit of why I do what I do. I keep the redundancy. I keep doing the same things over and over again. Why? Because, prime example, and we'll shut it down. These two knives right here. I really wanted to get kind of deep dive this other stuff. I'm not. Jack Billings, shed knives, super cool. Super excited about that. Here's the thing. Engage, verdict. If I do, say I go out and I run a series of tests on this Engage. And then I go, well, let's compare the verdict. And I go out and I do something totally different. There's no comparison there. Now, Eric Hussein always says this, shout out to E, and he's right. It's hard to compare a knife head to head. You're not going to chout the same, stab the same. If your hands are hurting one day, blah, 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 blah. But by running the same test, Doing the same video for this one. I know it gets a little old. I know it does. That's why we're doing more kitchen videos, riding with scab videos. This 4th year, I'm going to talk to you more about what we got coming up there. But that's why we try to mix it up, maybe slingshots and stuff. If I want to compare these two knives, just like our knife making contest coming up, that's another reason I'm doing what I'm doing. That's another reason we may do head-to-head here. By doing the same redundancy, I test this knife on a Wednesday, test this knife on a Thursday. I keep, say, 7 out of the 8. I've got 8 or 9 different things I do. If I do a total of 6 of the same on each, that'll give you a great idea. Yeah, I might mix it up a little bit. Might be a need to mix it up. But it would only be 1 or 2 demonstrations. That's it. And thereby, you can make a solid, firm decision. There it is. Remember this, guys. I love you. God knows I do. Again, thank you all. I'm Scab. You're not. Looking kind of buff in the old choir. Well, you're jacked up, son. I'm gone, son. Have a good weekend. Love y'all. Thank you. Hey, dude, right here, seriously. Thank y'all, man. Love you.